am here to tell you guys, this is crazy to me. For people to really have an opinion about the structure of Shedeur Sanders' contract is far mind-boggling to me. I just got to be honest, man. Name another fifth-round quarterback that has been picking up this much name, this much publicity, and people voicing this much opinions about it. Now, there is an article that has come out about Shedeur Sanders' contract. Now,
the headline explodes like a sideline brawl. Shedeur Sanders, the quarterback who was supposed to be the golden ticket of the next NFL era, finds himself dragged into chaos before his first professional snap. What was supposed to be a proud milestone has turned into a messy storm because buried inside the deal meant to secure his future is a clause so bizarre it's being nicknamed the Prime Equity Clause. Now, the football world is less impressed with his arm and more stunned by his contract.
Shedeur Sanders is going to be one of the richest quarterbacks ever. Prime equity. I want you guys to understand that word, prime equity. Yesterday, I did a video about him receiving $14 million in commission from $250 million earned from his jersey sale. A lot of y'all said, Cap, that's a lie. When Shedeur signed his deal with the Browns, which was $4.6 million, there was a clause in his contract that was called prime equity. This clause ties into...
Shedeur Sanders entered the NFL with a level of hype usually reserved for Hollywood stars walking into a premiere. The son of Coach Prime himself, Deion Sanders, Shedeur didn't just ride into the league. Cameras, flashy suits, and the weight of expectation escorted him in. Everyone knew he had talent. Everyone knew he could sling a football like it was designed for his hand. But what no one expected was that his first controversy wouldn't come from his play on the field, but from the fine print of his paycheck.
I didn't even think to even research Shedeur Sanders' contract. I didn't even think it was that big of a deal. So supposedly people are mad that Shedeur Sanders got this clause in his contract speaking about sales, dealing with the merchandise sales and stuff like that. It says Browns quarterback Shedeur Sanders contract rumor called out ahead of the opener. So when I seen that, I'm like, what the hell is they talking about? So it said Cleveland Browns rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders has drawn praise from a rumored prime equity clause in his contract.
The Prime Equity Clause is the kind of contractual oddity that sounds like it was dreamed up during a late-night brainstorm fueled by too much Red Bull and ego. Essentially, the clause ties a portion of Shedeur's earnings and potential bonuses to the business ventures, branding, and entrepreneurial interests tied to his father, Deion Sanders. Imagine being told your million-dollar incentives don't just depend on touchdowns or playoff wins, but also on whether your dad's brand sells enough sunglasses or keeps its buzz alive on social media.
The NFL has a thing against Shedeur Sanders, and I'm like, I wonder why, right? But if you notice that clause that he has in his contract, the NFL doesn't like that. You know why? Because it takes money from the owners and like the organization. So if you look at that clause, that it's the prime clause, something like that, some prime time clause or whatever it is. If you look that up, you will see why the NFL would not like him coming into the NFL, or like they trying to teach him a lesson or whatever like that.
Fans expected a rookie contract. They got an infomercial disguised as a financial deal. Suddenly, Shedeur's future as a quarterback looks less like a playbook and more like a stock portfolio tied directly to Primetime Incorporated. And the football community is not impressed. Analysts are calling it a distraction, rivals are calling it nepotism, and veteran players are side-eyeing the entire arrangement like it's a circus act set to implode.
Shedeur Sanders has a prime equity clause in his contract with the Cleveland Browns. And as you see highlighted, it says it gives him a share of revenue from merchandise, sponsorships, and promotion tied to his name, image, and likeness. And I want to put a pause here really quick. And I want to say traditionally, NIL was, well, not even really traditionally, because like maybe the past 3 years, but NIL has been something that really has only applied to collegiate athletes, right? So this has been them being able to profit off their name, image, and likeness. However, Shedeur Sanders is no longer a collegiate athlete.
The backlash didn't take long. Within hours of the contract leak, social media lit up with memes faster than a blitzing linebacker. People mocked the idea that Shedeur's bonuses could depend on something as ridiculous as whether his dad's YouTube channel pulled in enough ad revenue. Hashtags started trending, with fans joking that instead of a quarterback, he was now playing the role of brand ambassador with a side of football. The prime equity clause quickly turned into a punchline, the kind of embarrassing headline no rookie wants before he's even laced up for his first preseason game.
Now fast forward recently to Shedeur Sanders, Deion Sanders' son, goes viral, but not for football, but for how he structured his contract. He had an equity clause in his deal with Gatorade. That clause basically said, I'm not just here as a name or a body. I want part of what's being built off of me. I want ownership in the outcome. So that clause essentially just preserved his interest. And he didn't walk away with just a one-time check. He walked away with his corrected status in the contract, and he claimed his equity.
To make matters worse, the NFL itself isn't exactly thrilled. The league has spent years trying to craft an image of fairness and competitive integrity. And now here comes a contract that blurs the line between business and sport in a way that makes the draft look like a shopping spree for family dynasties. The union is asking questions, rival agents are raising eyebrows, and insiders whisper that this clause might become the subject of an official review. For Shedeur, the dream of starting fresh is already tainted by boardroom drama. Critics are already drawing comparisons to other high-profile athletes who let family branding cloud their careers. They point out that quarterbacks are judged by their leadership, their poise under pressure, and their ability to command respect in the locker room. But how much respect can you earn if teammates think your paycheck depends less on how many games you win and more on whether your father's sunglasses line goes viral on TikTok? This isn't leadership. It's marketing with shoulder pads.
Shedeur Sanders is in the NFL. And I'll just read the rest of this right here. It says, this informative clause transforms him from a typical player into a business partner. Hello, allowing him to benefit directly from the commercial success of his personal brand. And it also gives him ownership of his personal media content and digital platform.
And the ripple effect on Shedeur's image is brutal. Instead of being known as the kid who carved defenses in college, he risks becoming the poster child for what happens when hype meets hubris. Every incomplete pass will now come with a chorus of jokes about prime equity. Every interception will be followed by a meme suggesting his paycheck just got docked because someone unfollowed his dad on Instagram. He's not just playing the NFL anymore. He's battling public perception, and that's a tougher defense than any blitz package.
Came up with the word prime equity. A player's total value beyond the field, including their media, brand, fan base influence, content rights, merch sales, NIL history, and ability to generate attention, revenue, and culture. It's the prime way of doing business, not just playing the game, but owning the attention, audience, and
even teammates are reportedly uneasy. Locker rooms thrive on trust, on the belief that everyone is pulling in the same direction. But when one guy's money is tied to a branding clause no one else benefits from, it sends a signal that the focus isn't on the team, but on the individual. Veterans are already whispering about whether this clause will make Shedeur more interested in cameras than playbooks, more invested in business calls than huddles. The NFL is ruthless when it smells distraction, and right now Shedeur is radiating the kind of chaos that gets you sacked before you've even hit the pocket.
It's reported that his jersey sales have reached 250 million, which generates him
Wait, what?
14 million in commissions.
Yeah, he didn't ran it
Quarter
up.
mil? I mean, excuse 250 quarter bill. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Jesus.
He didn't ran it up.
No, he didn't make 14 million.
14 million.
I pray that that's real. Cause
He
shout out to
getting
him.
paid more than any first round pick.
Thanks.
They said with this clause, and like if he becomes like a superstar, he could be the richest NFL player ever.
But here's the kicker. For all the noise, Shedeur himself has remained unusually quiet. No fiery press conference, no clever tweet to clap back, no attempt to explain why this clause is in his contract. That silence speaks louder than words. It makes him look complicit, like he signed away his rookie season for the sake of keeping the Sanders brand intact. And in a league where rookies fight tooth and nail just to prove they belong, Shedeur's silence is being read as entitlement. He's not fighting the narrative. He's letting it define him.
Tell the truth. Does this surprise you guys? That Shedeur Sanders, pick number 144, is now the best-selling jersey of the draft class.
No, and this is why he's going to be a Cleveland Brown. I think he's going to be on the roster no matter what. Because at the end of the day, I do think he has a safe floor at quarterback, but those type of things, moving the needle, moving dollars around and being relevant as a franchise, that's what you want as an owner.
Meanwhile, his father Deion isn't helping matters. Coach Prime thrives on spectacle, and for years, he's built a reputation as a walking headline. However, his larger-than-life persona is now casting a shadow over his son's career. Every time Deion defends the deal or brushes off criticism, it reinforces the idea that this isn't Shedeur's moment. It's just another chapter in the prime time show. And if there's one thing NFL fans can't stand, it's the perception that someone got special treatment before proving themselves on the field. The real test will come soon enough. Training camp is around the corner, preseason games will hit, and Shedeur will have the chance to let his arm do the talking. But the problem with controversy is that it lingers. Every mistake will be magnified, every stumble mocked, every off-field headline tied back to that one phrase, prime equity clause. Instead of a clean slate, Shedeur is bringing baggage into a league where rookies already face enough pressure just to survive their first year. This could go one of two ways. If Shedeur dominates, wins games, and proves he's worth the hype, the clause will fade into the background, remembered as a weird footnote in a stellar career.
Whatever they were making in college, they get the minimum of that coming into the NFL. That'll be a big fight, but that'll be crazy. Streaming and storytelling. Can build his own docu-series live stream. Cuts out ESPN middleman. Bucket. That's what I think Bucket doing. Coach Prime link tied to Deion equals audience media culture, built-in brand infrastructure, business acumen, has a team, brand strategy, and vision, negotiate like an owner.
But if he struggles, if he falls behind, if he looks overwhelmed by the speed and intensity of the NFL, then the clause becomes the symbol of everything wrong with his launch. Instead of being known as a quarterback, he'll be remembered as a marketing stunt in shoulder pads. Right now, the stakes couldn't be higher. Shedeur Sanders has talent, but talent is nothing without trust, focus, and credibility. And thanks to the prime equity clause, he's already playing catch-up on all three. The NFL doesn't forgive easily, and fans even less so. One thing is clear, the biggest opponent Shedeur faces this season isn't on the field, it's the shadow of his own contract.